Hello and welcome. My name is Hedley Rees and I'm going to introduce you very briefly to this Kickstarter funding bid. It's titled Big Pharma Seduced the World, Time for Doctors to Muscle In. Now that may seem a strange title, but as you go through what I've written in the actual Kickstarter, you begin to understand what it's all about. This has really come to a head with COVID as people have tried to make sense of what's happened with antivirals, vaccines, all the other supply chain issues, that whole thing. And it seems to have spawned a breed of what I'm calling critical thinkers, people asking real searching questions about the pharmaceutical industry. Now, I've been in this industry for 40 years, so I know a bit about it. I specialise in biopharmaceutical supply chains, and in the last 15 years I've had my own independent consultancy called PharmaFlow. In 2011 I wrote this book, Supply Chain Management in the Drug Industry, Delivering Patient Value for Pharmaceuticals and Biologics. Now, that covered the whole of the pharmaceutical industry and end-to-end supply chains. In effect, a textbook. It sold in over 30 countries, and it really was well received at the time, albeit there's never been a huge interest in supply chain management in the industry, and you learn why that is if you take a look in here today. In 2015, I wrote this book, Find It, File It, Flog It. Sorry, that's not a very good picture there, but again, you'll find the picture in the Kickstarter itself. And that was a sort of easy to understand explanation of how the pharmaceutical industry has become so fragmented in pursuing patents instead of looking after patients. It has outsourced nearly every physical activity it could possibly outsource. And today, I would argue that pharmaceutical companies themselves, without a huge contractor base, would not be able to develop drugs for market. In 2019, I wrote this, Taming the Big Pharma Monster by Speaking Truth to Power. And again, that was another attempt to explain to people how badly things have gone wrong and really what we need to do to correct it. Just this year, I wrote what patients need to know about pharmaceutical supply chains. And again, that explains in some detail, but very easy to understand, how the supply chain fits in to the overall development, manufacture and launch of drugs. What's occurred to me in COVID that people don't know much about that. So my intention is to set up a digital knowledge base, and pledges will be able to attach themselves with that at various levels of reward. And hopefully from that, with knowledge comes enlightenment. And if you think knowledge and education is expensive, you should try ignorance, because that's going to cost you a whole lot more. So that's what I'm going to create based on all the work that I've done. And one of the pledges will allow you to actually help me create the content based on what people really want to know. So that's where this is. Take a look at the picture at the front. And this is where the link is to doctors. You see a picture there of Alexander Fleming going back to the future, going back to August 1928, when he made his accidental discovery of penicillin, where he noticed it was killing bacteria in his agar plate. I won't say any more than that. It might spoil the fun. So please, I would ask you, if you aren't in a position to pledge to this, if you wouldn't mind sharing the link. If you are able to share and a pledge too, I'd be deeply grateful. And on that note, I'll leave you to it and have a good year. Bye.